Dogme 95, one of the most strict and eclectic film movements. Lasting 10 years, this movement started by two Dutch directors, Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg, brought great challenge to the film industry and was able to encapsulate the importance of strong cinematic elements rather than the budget of the film. Similar to Italian neorealism and French New Wave, Dogme 95 had certain political implications, showcased raw and realistic events, and incorporated somewhat shocking scenes into the films. Politically charged moments reflected the unrest among the people at this time and fueled the desire to make a statement and shock people. One of the original creators of Dogme 95, Thomas Vinterberg, describes the first Dogma film ever made, Festin, translated to the celebration, in an interview with V Pro Cinema.
The rules of Dogma was a game. It was an ideology, it was politics, it was a provocation, it was arrogance, but it was also playfulness.
Also at this time, big Hollywood films with high budgets and extensive resources reigned supreme. This left little to no room for smaller films with the rise of unknown or foreign filmmakers. While von Trier and Vinterberg shared the passion for film, they sought to prove that the budget of a film does not determine its quality. They used this idea as the basis for their films, as well as a philosophy for creativity. Teaming up with two other directors, Christian Levering and Soren Krag Jacobsen, they formed a brotherhood of Dogme 95. Their philosophy states their belief that if creativity is put in a box, it will be forced to come out. In simpler terms, when creativity is limited, it is more likely to break free. One of the most important aspects to a Dogme 95 film is a list of 10 rules. These are called the vows of chastity and are what hold Dogme 95 together and what everything is based off of. These 10 rules were made by the original creators and are required to be followed to qualify as a Dogme 95 film. The 10 rules are: shooting must be done on location. Props and sets must not be brought in. If a particular prop is necessary for the story, a location must be chosen where this prop is to be found. The sound must never be produced apart from the images or vice versa. The camera must be handheld. Any movement or immobility attainable in the hand is permitted. The film must be in color. Special lighting is not acceptable. Optical work and filters are forbidden. The film must not contain superficial actions such as murders or weapons. Temporal and geographical alienation are forbidden. Genre movies are not acceptable. The film format must be Academy 35mm, and the director must not be credited. This is an example of a certificate signed for an unnamed director, but it is Susan Beer's film for Open Heart. These signed certificates are placed at the beginning of each movie. This one is for The Celebration, which is the first Dogme 95 film ever made. Another notable Dogme 95 film was The Idiots, directed by Lars von Trier, one of the original directors. This film took a much more comedic approach rather than political. You see the simplicity of the film and the traits of the film movement in the handheld camera movements and the simple lighting. Also in the credits, the director is not named and is also a handheld movement. The third Dogma film ever made, called Mifune, also known as Dogma 3, showcases a story about love and drama and relates to Italian neorealism, with its storyline filled with real and relatable things such as divorce and a death in the family. With a much more mature storyline, Mifune shows a side of Dogme 95 that is different from the others, and exemplifies how serious and well-made movies can be made with a low budget. Occurring within the time of flourishing Hollywood, Dogme 95 was not only a risk, but it was a big step forward in film. It showed that a big budget did not determine the quality of the film, and that experimenting with new techniques could lead to bigger and better things. It valued expression, shock value, and unorthodox practices to culminate into visual art and the telling of a story. While it challenged certain concepts and drew inspiration from other concepts, Dogme 95 was overall an original way of expression in filmmaking. Making itself such a notable film movement, Dogme 95 will always be known for its liberating nature. The irony still stands since there are many rules within this movement, yet, stressed by the original directors, forcing creativity into a box will grow its desire to come back out.